Good morning, everyone. Dear students, today we are going to cover a poem from our first book, Beehive. And the name of the poem is On Killing a Tree. And this poem is composed by the famous Indian poet Patel. So, first of all, let's talk about the poet. Patel was born in 1946 in Mumbai. He is a poet, playwright, painter, and doctor by profession. And in most of his poems, the theme is human body. It means he talks about human body in most of his poems. That's why uh, he is called poet of the body. And his famous works are mirroring, how do you withstand body, and he also wrote three plays, Princess, Swaska, and Mr. Behram. So these are the works or eminent works of the poet. Introduction of the poem. This is the best known poem by Jiv Patel, and in this poetry Jiv Patel paints a very brutal picture of what is involved in killing a tree. And according to him, trees have the right to live like any other creature. But he is pained to see that it is a human being only who kills the trees with utmost cruelty. The poet has sympathy for the trees. Now let's see uh, and take first stanza. It takes much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown slowly, consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crest, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous hide sprouting leaves. So, in the very first stanza, the poet is going to tell that the killing of a tree is a very difficult and time consuming process, and it takes much time to kill it. Further, he is saying only a simple blow or jab of the knife will do it. It means he is saying if you want to kill a tree, you have to blow or put efforts, a lot of efforts to kill it. And with a simple jab or blow of knife, you cannot kill it. It has grown slowly, consuming the earth. rising out of it. And the poet is saying further that the tree comes out of the earth and it starts getting nutrients from the earth and along with the sunlight, water, and air. And the leaves and branches of the tree sprout from its bark, which looks diseased. Leprous hide means leprous hide means the bark which looks diseased because it is irregular and scaly. So next stanza. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature balls, which, if unchecked, will expand again to former size. And in the very second stanza, the poet is telling that hacking a tree with a knife or an axe or chopping off a bough may inflict pain on the tree because it is not enough to bring a tree down. The bleeding bark will heal. And here the meaning of bleeding bark is the wound in the bark from where the sap comes out or where a bough has been chopped off. It will heal with time. It means when someone tries to cut the trees and he is giving blow again and again to the tree, then a white fluid like or sap starts coming out of it from where he had chopped off, and it will take some time to heal it. And from close to the ground will rise cold twigs, miniature boughs, which, if unchecked, will expand again to former size. And the poet is telling in these lines that after giving blows to the tree, sap comes out from it and from close to the ground. And if you have chopped the tree or hacked the tree, just as you can see in the picture, so after some time, and if it is unchecked or nobody is paying notice to it, so after some time from close to the ground different small boughs and green twigs starts growing, and after some time it will again acquire or gain the same size as it has earlier. Clear? So next stanza. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be robbed, tied, and pulled out, snapped out, or pulled out entirely out from the earth cave and the strength of the tree exposed. The shores, white and wet, the most sensitive hidden for years inside the earth. Okay, so in the third stanza, The poet is telling about the process of killing a tree, and he is going to tell what we have to do in order to kill a tree thoroughly or entirely. He is saying no, the root is to be pulled out, and he is saying only the act of hacking a tree with a knife or giving blows or chopping off its boughs is not enough to kill a tree. If we want to kill a tree entirely, the roots has to be pulled out thoroughly out of the anchoring earth. Anchoring earth means the trees are held secure with the help of the roots in the earth. So long as the roots are firmly held by the earth, the tree is safe and cannot be killed by a simple jab of knife. It is to be robbed, tied, and pulled out, snapped out. And the poet is saying it is essential to tie a rope around the tree, and it should be tied tightly, and then it should be pulled out entirely, and it should be pulled out entirely from the earth cave. Earth cave means, here the poet suggests, the space created in the earth by uprooting a tree. And when we uproot a tree, there will be a space, empty space, which we create in the earth. Okay, so he's saying the tree should be pulled out entirely from the earth's cave and the strength of the tree exposed. And if it is done once, the center shores, the root is exposed, and then the tree becomes vulnerable. The shores, white and wet, the most sensitive, hidden for years inside the earth. It means the shores is described as white and wet, probably alluding to tree sap, which is a white liquid. He is saying it is the most sensitive part from where this white substance starts coming out, and which is a white liquid, and which was hidden for a long, long years inside the earth. So, next one. Then the matter of scorching and choking in air and sun, in sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. So it is the last stanza of the poem, and here the poet is telling, if, as you can see in the picture now, if it is exposed, if the tree is exposed to the sun and air, this life shores will be scorched, and suddenly it starts becoming brown, and then it will be harder. It will convert into from soft to hard, then twisting, and then it starts withering, and then it is done. After some time, the tree, then it is done. Then it is done means it means the tree is killed entirely. In other words, the poet wants to say, slowly the trees start to become brown with all the softness fading out. And with time, it will wither, become dry, and bent out of shape, leaving a corpse where a tree used to be. In short, the exposure will leave the root vulnerable to all vagaries of weather, which will ultimately weaken the tree and kill it. Summary of the poem, that in this poem the poet wants to tell us difference between the cutting of tree and killing of trees. According to him, cutting is a type of trimming which is required from time to time for the proper growth of the tree, but it will take too much time to kill a tree. And in second stanza, he is describing that simple jab of knife cannot kill a tree, and it is a time consuming process. And then he is saying that finally the strength of the tree is exposed when its roots are completely pulled out with the help of a rope, or they are snapped out cruelly. After that, they are hardened, twisted, and withered, and then at last the tree is killed. Message of the poem, that trees also have life. They feel pain, grief, suffering, sorrows, and joys as sensitively as human beings. So we should not harm them, we should not cut the trees, because they are really a treasure given by us, by our ancestors. And if we will cut down these trees, then what or which kind of environment we will provide to our coming generations? And vocabulary, we have already discussed. Hack means cut roughly by striking heavy blows. Jab, sudden rough blow. Leprosite, discolored bark. Anchoring earth, we have discussed. The trees are held securely with the help of the roots in the earth. Snapped out means chopped out. Scorching and choking, the drying up of the tree after being uprooted. Now, literary devices used in the poem. Okay, in this poem, many literary devices are used, and first of all, I would like to tell no rhyming scheme is followed in this poem, as this poem is composed in free verse. There is no rhyme scheme. Okay, so first of all, we will talk about alliteration. In this poem, alliteration is used twice at time. Bleeding bark, a repetition of BB sound. Okay, bleeding bark, alliteration is there. Second one, white and wet. White and wet. Here also alliteration is there. Okay, so next one, metaphor. The poet is saying the bleeding bark. The bleeding bark. Here is direct, here is comparison between bleeding bark and the sap that is coming out from the tree when someone gives blows to it. And at second place, leprous hide. The poet is comparing the disease of leprosy, which is in human beings, which is found in human beings, and that's why the poet is saying leprous hide. It means the tree also has a leprosy. So it's a direct comparison between human beings and the tree. Third one, enjambment. At different places, the poet used this literary device, enjambment. And importance of trees, and everybody knows. And the poet, in this poem, the poet wants to convey this message that trees are very, very important for our survival on this earth. So we should not cut trees, as it is a kind of uh, treasure which we have to give to our coming generations, and they are a vital source to keep our environment clean. So thank you, have a nice day.